So, good morning, good morning, good morning, Madge.
Good
How are
morning,
you?
Don. Morning. I'm good. I'm good. Yes, I'm
I
very
want to
good.
say
Thank you.
big thank you for participating in a part of the Forgotten Generations. Yeah,
You're
we've,
welcome.
we've known each other for some years now, or our paths have crossed, and we've never had a chance to really talk. But what I try to do is get people to share their experiences, because I realize that it is important, right? We don't tell enough about ourselves, especially those people like yourselves who've done a lot in life, and other young women and men can learn from it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go with some questions now. So I'm gonna start with where were you born? Town, country?
Yeah, I was actually born here in the UK.
Okay.
Yes, in Handsworth, in a house on Crockett's Road.
All right, Handsworth, Birmingham. Wow.
Yeah. Born and bred.
Born and bred. So I guess you probably weren't separated from your parents or anything like that in earlier years or anything like that.
I wasn't, but the rest of my siblings were. So they were back in Jamaica.
Okay, so
yeah.
you say siblings. How many siblings have you got?
Live, I've got 3 sisters, and my brother passed away 3 years ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he was the eldest. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess you were the youngest because you were born here. The rest were born in
I'm the youngest. That's right. I'm the baby.
All right. I'm not going to say the spoiled one or anything like that.
You're not going to what? Sorry.
I'm not going to say the spoiled one or anything like that because you were the baby.
No, not at all.
Oh, that's all right. So how did you sort of get on with your siblings? How they came from the Caribbean to here? What was everything like good when you first met me?
Yeah. I was only a baby, and so I literally grew up with them.
Right.
There was one sister who actually didn't come, and then she stayed in Jamaica and then went to Canada. But
Right.
my other 2 sisters and my brother, we all lived in my mum and dad's house until my brother eventually left, went into nursing, and then decided he wanted to live a life abroad. So he emigrated to the USA when I was 10. I remember it vividly because I had a big afro, and he would and he would pick my hair out for me, and I said, "Who's going to do my hair now that you gone?"
Big brother. There's nothing like a big brother, you know. I know that. Fantastic. So how did you get on with his sisters and that?
Fine. They looked after me, especially the one that's next to me. She was kind of my permanent babysitter, I suppose. So we grew up quite close. And then my other sister, which I'm sure you know, Dr. Beverly Lindsay.
Yes.
She just protected me. She was my protector. She looked after me and advised me, gave me good advice.
Right.
And encouraged me in all my things that I was doing.
You know, I was absolutely, I don't know, lost for words when I found out that you were sisters. And I just, it was just like chalk and cheese in a sense, right? I just couldn't believe it, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that's life. So you went to school like where?
I went to my junior school's Rookery Road in Handsworth. Rookery Road, went there. And then I left there and went to St. John War, which was a Catholic school, not far. And then the final year of Catholic school, I went to grammar school in Kings Norton Girls. Did my A-levels there and some other bits and pieces, secretarial, Pickman's, typing, shorthand and all that stuff. At that time I thought I wanted to be a secretary, so and so that's where I went.
So how would you describe school life then? Would you say that was a great experience, good experience? Or?
School life was the best years.
Really?
Oh yeah, school life was the best years. I mean, I do feel sorry for some of the youngsters now who are having, you know, pretty tough time, and it's just not the same. You know, I've got friends that I'm still with, you know, 55 years later.
Right.
Right. And my best friend, well, I'm nearly 61, she's 60. We've been friends since we were 5. Still my best friend.
That's brilliant. It's brilliant. So in your school life then, as you got towards the end of that, did you actually know what you wanted to do?
No, it was very mixed, because when I first when I first left senior school, I was a bit of a rebel, and I was like, I don't want to be
you
I don't
a
want
rebel.
I don't want to be a nerd. I didn't want to be all the things that the stereotypical things that the careers advisor said that we should be. Okay. So, you know, we could only be nurses and secretaries and whatever. And at one stage I wanted to be secretary, then I changed my mind, and then I wanted to be an electrical engineer. So on my leaving certificate, it says I want to be an electrical engineer.
Wow.
Yeah, it didn't happen, but you know, it was a good thought at the time.
I can imagine. And why did you want to be an electrical engineer? Was it like something that you felt you've been messing around with electricity, or is it just a thought?
It was I used to watch my dad and stuff, and you know, he'd fix things and whatever, and I thought, I could do something completely different, you know. Right. I'm sure there's not many girls who want to do that, so that's why I wanted to do it. Just a bit of a rebel, really.
Yeah. So what did you go into in the end in terms of the?
So in the end, I actually started off my career. Well, I say my career as a civil servant.
All right.
So for those of us who remember DHSS on Soho Road.
Yes.
I worked there as a clerical assistant for about 18 months.
Okay.
Then I left there and went to work for British Tech. Well, it was called the post office then, GPO, the post office.
Yes.
As an operator. So when you dialed 100, you might have got me.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Did that. Loved that. That was a great job.
How long did you do that for?
I did that for probably about 18 months as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I left there, and I decided I wanted to kind of go into more community type work, because when I was 15, 16, I did a lot of voluntary work, summer schools, and that sort of thing. So I really loved that. And then I decided that I wanted to do some kind of give back to the community, some type of community work. And I was I can't even remember how. So I got a job as an administrator for Handsworth Law Centre. Don't know if you remember Handsworth Law Centre on Soho Road.
Okay.
So I was there for a few years, and Claire Short has been very instrumental in my life. She was on the board of like the management committee, and you know, we used to have kind of monthly committee meetings. And I remember one day she says, "What are you doing with yourself?" She said, this is great, but you're far better than this. You know, all the background stuff she knew that I did. And she encouraged me then to go to uni.
All right.
Because I hadn't gone to university, gone to college, but I'd never gone to university. So she encouraged me to do it was Polytechnic then, wasn't it? Birmingham Polytechnic.
Yes.
And I did a community and advice certificate, which my sister also did, funnily enough. And from there I decided I was going to go into youth work because I was working with a lot of people. Then I went and did a youth and community work degree in Leicester. So I was there for 3 years, and I got pregnant in the last year. Okay. And had my daughter. Got a job as what was I called? An activities organizer. So still within youth work and community work in Leicester, because I still lived in Leicester.
Okay.
And then we came back to Birmingham when she was quite young, probably about 2, maybe. Yeah, I think she might have been not quite 2 even, and got a job with Bernardo's as a detached youth worker.
All right.
And did that for 3 years. But all the time doing that, I was still kind of educating in the loosest terms, and still supporting people in different areas of their life. And so after working with Bernardo's, I went into more kind of tutoring and teaching.
All right.
And then adult and community education. So so as a youth worker, I trained a lot of the youth workers that you see now, and did that for probably about 4 years. Then I worked for an organisation called the Workers' Education Association, WEA.
Oh yes.
Did that for 15 years.
Right. So up at this point, that's quite a contrasting background, isn't it? From the work life that you started to right to that point, 15 years. And then what happened?
And then after 15 years, I was made redundant, and probably didn't work for about 6 months or so. And then a friend of mine was working for Rathbone. It's a youth training company, the national one. And she said, oh, I just need someone to look after. She used to manage the centres, youth kind of training centres, and she needed somebody to manage one just in the interim, because it wasn't great pay, to be honest, at the time. And I wasn't doing anything. She said, would you just do it just for 6 months? I said, yeah, why not? And I did, and loved it, and stayed, and then became program area manager and quality manager. And yeah, so it's always been kind of youth work, education, training. That's been my kind of background, and management. And then after I left, again, I was made redundant again from Rathbone. They did a massive restructure.
Wow.
And then I did some teaching, did some cover teaching in various schools. And then my sister had a back operation, and she wanted somebody she could trust to run the shop while she was recovering. So I worked at Diamond Travel.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
Yeah. So I managed Diamond Travel for, oh gosh, I don't know how long that was now. Probably about 6 or 7 months, maybe 8 months, something like that.
Okay.
And whilst I was there, I was approached because where I am now at Bethel, I was approached by a friend of my husband's who said that they were looking for a consultant to do some work with this organisation called Kingshurst Development Trust in Milligan-Green. And it was part of the church, but they wanted to do kind of outreach, community work with volunteers. So I had a 6-month contract with them. And then I was also approached about Oscar Birmingham.
Oh, right.
So,
indeed. Yeah. That's the sickle cell side of things.
That's right. I think that's where we first met, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So I did that for 3 years with Oscar Birmingham. And then the Kingshurst Development Trust, KDT, was only a 6-month contract, but we did loads. We did a lot of work in those 6 months. And then when I left Oscar Birmingham, I went into this job that I am now.
Right.
As the chief exec for Bethel Health and Healing Network. Wow.
How is that job? I mean, it's quite, is it like very demanding or? It's
a very demanding job, but very, very rewarding as well.
Okay.
So we have an army of volunteers that we work with. We wouldn't be able to do our jobs without them. Well, I wouldn't be able to run the organisation without them. So we do have paid staff, and there's 17 of us all together. And then we have about 45 volunteers that help across both of our services.
That's quite a bit of management, isn't it?
It is. It's a lot of work, and it's I don't directly manage all the staff anymore, thank goodness. I've got an operations manager that does that. But you know, my role really is to kind of raise the profile of the organisation, ensure that we're financially stable, and make sure that, you know, we run smoothly.
So what area do you cover with that organisation?
Geographically?
Yeah,
we cover all of Birmingham and the Black Country, Solihull.
Right. Okay, so that's quite an experience. You talk about your daughter. Is it just the one child?
Just the one. Right. Yeah.
Oh wow! And how is she?
She's doing very well. She's she was 35 last week.
She's
married. She's 35.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's married with 2 children. She works for the Repertory Theatre, Birmingham Rep, managing a project, and she also works in a freelance basis with Alvin Ailey Dance Company. You know, the American dance company.
Oh yeah.
She works. Heard of them, but, you know. Yeah. So she works for them in England. Yeah.
So she's got any talent within that sort of area as well, dancing?
Yes, her degree, and that was a massive part of my life that I didn't mention either. I did a lot of dancing, grew up doing ballet, tap, modern ballet. Yeah.
You did?
Yes.
Wow.
It was actually on Opportunity Knocks.
No.
I was. Well,
Huey Green and all of that?
Huey Green, 1975.
Really? Yeah. Have you got like a tape of that?
Do you know what? We've tried to find it, can't find it. You know, search the internet, search YouTube. I'm sure somebody will put it up one day. They must. That
would be so good to see. So did you go on as you yourself, or did you go as a part of a team, or what?
Part of a team. Our dance company. Sheila Maria Dance Stage School. We did an acrobatic dance. Yes. So.
Well, I guess that must have been quite an experience, you know, in terms of what you did, plus getting on TV and all of that sort of thing. Because back in the day, opportunity knocks was a big deal, wasn't it?
It was, and you know, for us, what 15, I think at the time, for us to go down to London, you know, and it was a big deal, and stay in a hotel, and and meet Milligan-Green and the set and everything. Yeah, it was something.
Wow. You know, I hear about the show, I watch it so many times on TV, but I've never spoken to anybody who actually been on the opportunity knock show.
Yes,
wow.
I've been on. My claim to fame.
Your claim to fame. I'm sure there will be many more claims to fame in the future going forward. Because we also met recently as well, where you got an award, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. Local hero and all that sort of thing.
But all the work that I've done, you know, as I've shared with you now, it culminated in that local award.
And I think it's fascinating to see what people do amongst us, you know, the different people. And also, I have to congratulate your sister in bringing that together. And I think that's been going on for quite a while now, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, that's been going on a long time.
Yeah. I think it's great because I don't think we big ourselves up enough.
No.
Hence, you know, this journey I've started with the Forgotten Generations, you know, and we're still hiding our talents under the bushes, so they say. Some of us try to write it down in books and whatever. I'm trying to capture it visually now so people will see and hear.
Yes.
And your life story is so important because you obviously a big role model out there. Yeah. You know, any young woman or even young man seeing and listening to your stories tells that we can achieve. So it's just so fantastic, you know. Yeah. So I congratulate your sister Beverly for that particular program because she brings a lot of people to the forefront that a lot of us don't know about.
Absolutely, and doing good work.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, what's your next project? You got any particular next project in mind, or you
I'm looking to. Okay, so I shared with you last year when lockdown was announced. I'm a bit of a gym fanatic, so try to keep fit and keep healthy.
It's important, very important.
Yeah. And my sense of what am I going to do kind of kicked in when Boris announced that that's it, lockdown, everything's locked down. I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? No gym, no swimming. I can walk and, you know, run around the area, and then I decided that you know, I just had this sense of, you know, God saying, you need to do something, and so I decided that I was going to I live in a cul-de-sac.
All right.
So I said to my husband, you know what, I'm going to invite my neighbours and see if they'll come out on their drives and work out with me. Yeah. And so I did. The night before, I put a postcard in everyone's letterbox and I said, would you like to come out and work out on the drive with me? And the next morning, a few of them came out, and I brought out one of my husband's old speaker boxes, plugged it into my phone, and just downloaded some music from YouTube, some, you know, kind of, you know, keep fit music. And and we started to work out. We did that every day throughout lockdown.
No, really?
Yeah, till the weather changed. The only time we didn't go out was when it rained, and we were very fortunate because, you know, the weather was brilliant last year. We were very fortunate that we didn't really miss anything unless people couldn't make it. But so we all became very, very fit. And one night we were on TV. We were featured on TV.
Did you really?
Yeah. Moving Madge on BBC West Midlands.
Really? Because I saw quite a few of those programs where they were showing people who have done similar things, but I didn't actually see. So have you got a recording of that?
Yeah. I'll try and find it and send it to you. Yeah.
That'd be brilliant. Yeah. Because I can then upload that to my YouTube channel.
Right. Okay.
That'd be fun. Because that's another string to your bow. So are you sort of continuing that, or, you know?
Yeah. So my next step, I'm looking probably next year to kind of really retire from kind of full-time work. And I really want to push, it's called Move with Madge. I really want to push Move with Madge as a viable company business, because I've been doing bits and pieces for people. They've asked me to come and do sessions with older people and kind of middle-aged people as well. And so so I decided, you know what, I'm doing a personal trainer's course at the moment, so that I can do individual one-to-one training and group work exercise. So that's what I'd like to do, kind of more targeting kind of, maybe over 40s. I mean, people can self-select, but more targeting the older generation.
Oh, I think there's a lot of
mature generation. I was so excited last year. I was 60 last year, and I was booking some tickets, me and my friend, to go and see something at the theatre. And in the box, when I came to pay, in the box it says concessions 60 plus. I'm like, yeah, I get a discount now that I'm 60, and I keep forgetting all these different things you can get. Yeah.
And that's fantastic, because you've given a lot in life. It's nice to get something back,
Absolutely.
And it's something to be had. And I think the Americans probably recognize this more than we do. You know, when you go there, they say, the age thing matter a lot. So they give a lot back.
That's right.
So we got a lot to learn. So that's fantastic, really, to go in that, because I think that field, there is a gap, isn't there? Where, there's a lot of work you can, because you individually as well, you can go and, give people that necessary sort of physical sort of uplift that they need. Because too many of us spend our time, on the settee, watching TV or whatever.
I know.
And physically, it's so good for you, because it builds and sharpens your mental.
That's right. So it's for mental health as well. I mean, I do have an individual private client at the moment that I work with. And as I said, I've done some sessions for different organisations. And so that's something that I really want to go into, as long as my knees don't give up.
This is it, isn't it? Because the age thing is like, you're getting older. I mean, we're all getting older, so we have to recognize that the physical side of things is not like it was when we were like 20.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And did you actually play much sport in your time, or did you?
Well, obviously I did my dancing until I was 17, so I did all genres, acrobatic, tap, modern, ballet. And then I played netball for many, many years.
Did you?
Yeah. And then when my daughter started dancing school, they had an adults tap class, and I thought, wow, go back. So I went back into tap as an adult.
Tap dancing? Tap dancing?
Yeah, tap dancing,
You can tap dance?
I can. I love tap dancing. Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And does your daughter tap dance as well? Does she?
Yeah, she did. She went to dancing school as well. Did her degree is actually in dance, contemporary dance.
All right. So
she's got a bachelor's degree. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So I guess that covers quite a lot of the dance world. Probably
That's
everything,
right.
really.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
fantastic.
all genres, yeah.
Wow. So I guess I should look out for her on TV as well.
And then look out for my granddaughter, who's following in our footsteps. In fact, I'll try and find a photograph while we're talking. Who's following in our footsteps as a dancer. And my grandson was actually signed by Villa last month, end of October.
Oh, congratulations. So how old is he?
He's 9. He's 9.
Really?
Yeah.
I know this is about you, but my grandson was signed for Wolves at age 6.
Oh, wow.
And he's 8 now. And he had Villa, Leicester, Wolves, and everyone knocking on his door last month, because there was a signature to be had. And he's still at Wolves.
Oh, brilliant. Good for him.
Yeah. Villa was so much after him that I was knocking on his door every day. So you never know. So did you say he's 9 now?
He's 9, yeah. West Brom has been after him for the last year as well. They were ready to sign him last year, but he wanted to play for Villa. He's a Villa fan.
Yeah.
That was
good
his
lad.
thing.
Good lad. I'm a big Villa fan myself.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Superb. So, and your granddaughter is into dancing, did you say?
So that's him signing.
Oh my God. That's fantastic.
His mum and dad, yeah.
Do you go to see him? Do you get the chance to go and watch it?
At the moment, we can't. Only one person can go. So sometimes the mom, or one person can go to training, and both of his parents can go to watch. So we haven't had a chance to watch him, not since he's been signed. But I'm sure that'll come as soon as all these restrictions are lifted.
And no doubt, both of our grandkids know each other, because
possibly,
because at Wolves, they go to Wolves regularly, but today, Saturday, they will be there now playing, and they play the different teams that from around the country come to Wolves and play, compete against each other. That includes Aston Villa and all of that.
Right.
The scouts know each other as well.
That's right.
That's right. So fantastic. I look out for, what's his name?
Ira McKenzie.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. That's my granddaughter.
Wow, fantastic. So I'll be looking out for her.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'll be looking out for both of them.
Yes, look out for both of them.
Oh, what a talented family you've got there.
Yeah.
So lots of plans afoot then, in terms of going forward, in your perspective, your daughter's perspective, your granddaughter, your grandson. Wow, what a family. Wow. Yeah. Where does dad fit in all of this then? Husband?
My husband. Yeah. He's always in the background. He just does a lot. He does a lot of the driving, taking my grandson to football this morning. He's going to pick him up and then take him to his 11+ lessons, and then he'll probably do some Saturday soup, and he's always in the background.
Did you say Saturday soup?
Saturday soup, yes.
He cooks as well?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Congratulations from me. Yeah. Very well done.
He cooks Saturday soup. He cooks he's good at doing the meat side. I don't eat meat, but he's good at doing like chicken side on a Sunday. So he'll and all the prep and everything. Right. So he'll do all that. And then he loves to cook cow foot. So we did some of that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, that's his. That's his thing, not mine.
So talking about all of this, right? Being born here, have you actually gone back to your family roots in Jamaica?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you know, but Paul Bogle was he was my grandmom's grandfather. So he was our great grandfather.
Wow, yes. Well, I think I heard something about that, because as you probably know, I'm from St. Thomas as well.
That's right. Yeah.
And I'm from just further up from Trinity-Ville, Mount Vernon way. I don't know if you know. Yeah. Very well. So you've gone back and you've got some sort of the history of where your family came
absolutely. And even though I was born here, I've always and as you know, my sister's she's very much, she always promotes the diaspora in terms of Jamaica anyway. I do have that kind of affinity with Jamaica. Been a few times, obviously. It was really important to me to take my daughter so she could see. So, she's been a few times as well with my mom and my uncle, and she's been with her family. They've gone as well.
Oh, that's really good.
Absolutely.
From a cultural perspective, that's so important, isn't it?
It is.
That, because, I know it's like watered down to a point when you're born here and your kids and whatever, but there's still an element of it that can be maintained and should be maintained and retained.
Absolutely.
And when you go back to roots, like taking them back to Jamaica, I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course they embrace it, right? They all embrace it.
Oh yeah. Go on, sorry.
How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as Jamaican, or do you see yourself as British or English? Or, I ask this question a lot of times, and I get a lot of different answers.
I guess I'm a British Jamaican because I was born here, but my culture is very important to me. So that's not denied and it's not watered down. Yeah. And I think I'm probably, like a lot of people, probably around about my age who was born here, embrace both cultures. So we're quite lucky, there's kind of a hybrid of how we live. The English, and when we're ready, we can chat the patois to no matter You know what I mean? But in certain circles, you know how to conduct yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, I've got English friends, I've got Black friends, I've got Asian friends. So yeah, I think I'm quite fortunate. It's kind of a hybrid approach, embracing both cultures.
And I think it's very, very, very important to do that, because, you know, what we pass on to our youngsters is also important. You know, what we do is often what they adapt, isn't it, really?
That's right. That's right.
And there's a big learning curve out there to actually, first of all, educate so that we know about our culture. This is very important. Yeah. Because there's a lot of youngsters now who have no sense of identity because they got lost somewhere along the line, you know, in parentage, shall we say.
Absolutely.
You know, so they've got no focal point of interest, you know. Whereas a lot of us who are in this mainstream of our parentage, and they've sort of led us back to where we come from to now, we kind of understand, and we have a sense of purpose. Yeah. You know, absolutely. Unfortunately, some people, and that's why I asked this question to people, because some people, you know, they're born here, and you think they're born in Jamaica because they and some people are born in Jamaica or the Caribbean, and they're more English than the English, if you know what I mean. So I asked that question specifically to see where, as people dropped and left their culture behind and adapt something different, and it's their choice, of course. Of course. Or do they embrace, you know? So that's quite important.
Yeah, it was always important to me that you know, where we lived, the school that the junior school that my daughter went to, the primary school, was a small Catholic school. We lived in Great Bar, and with, you know, like a handful of Black kids, and I mean a handful throughout the whole school. And it was always important to me anyway that she understood where she was coming from. She was comfortable in her own skin, and so I knew that the books that she'd be reading at school wouldn't really reflect that. So it was my responsibility to make sure that she, you know, the books that I brought, the dolls and everything represented who she was, and she could relate to that. And that's followed through, you know, with her and her children as well. That, you know, I mean, they're just a book family, books everywhere.
Excellent. Excellent.
And you know, 90%, and 90% of those books are, you know, have Black characters in them or written by Black authors. So, you know, and I mean, I'm sure you're aware of this whole thing about natural hair and our children growing up not thinking they have to have long blonde straight hair. And whereas, you know, growing up, you know, children play with toys, they play with dolls, and that's fine. You come, but you have to understand that your hair isn't that hair. And so we you know, well, my daughter's has worked really hard in terms of encouraging my granddaughter that your hair is absolutely fine as it is. You know, the plaits are beautiful, your curls are beautiful.
I get all of that. I get all of that so much because it's also a topical thing when I interview people in the military, right? Because the female, I mean the male as well, but the female, your hair is more matter to you more than the male, right? And I interviewed a few people who back in the day when they joined the military, they had to have what was determined by others rather than what your natural, you know. And it's been quite a big subject in the armed forces, right? Like, big, very big. But now they've relaxed it. Now you can have a plait, you can have dreadlocks.
Right. Okay.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Back in the day, there was none of that.
Right?
And the female are so much more comfortable within their own sort of world, you know, as far as that's concerned. And I saw a presentation at the function I was at last night where this young lady has set up her own company, and it's called something Platts. And taking it to a level that you can't believe. And that's why she's got an award last night for that, right? And, you know, so people are recognizing that we should be our natural selves, right? And that goes right back to school, as you mentioned, and about the vocabulary, not the vocabulary, but the what they teach in school, it's still not inclusive enough.
No.
You know, to say, you know, this is what you're about, you know, mix it, whatever ethnicity, let something be taught about that. And that includes like the armed forces, where we as a people have actually done a great deal back in the day.
That's right.
And mix it going forward, so we get a cross section of education. You know, so it's so important. So it's congratulations to you for, you know, you and your family being so inclusive and teaching them about the roots. Very, very important.
Thank you. Yeah.
This has been fantastic, Madge. Absolutely superb. We went on a journey there.
We did.
and thank you so much for that, for taking the time. I know that you're a very, very busy person. So again, the Forgotten Generations was set up purely and simply to actually tease people out of things that they've done in the past. And it doesn't just stop there. You know, if you can share it with your siblings and share it with your daughter, granddaughters, or family per se, it makes a big difference, because a lot of times people think they know each other.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you sit and talk like that, they'll be like, "Mommy, I didn't know you did that." Or, you know, or "Grandma, I didn't know this." And you know, we learn from each other. You know?
Absolutely. I think we're in an age now, fortunately, that you know, we've got these phones and we can take instant photographs and record things. And I think, you know, as long as we use it to our advantage and for the right reasons, I think it's brilliant to have that, because, you know, back in the day, like, I mean, apart from Opportunity Knocks, myself and my daughter, we were on Can't Cook, Won't Cook. Remember that? Yeah. So we did that, and I've got one photograph. I'm like, if this was now, we would have had lots of photographs. We would have had a photograph with, you know, Ainsley. We would have had all this stuff. But so there's so many things, and I sitting here, you know, talking about it now. Obviously, different memories come to the fore, and you know, I just remember when I was at WEA, all the work that I did there with the community, with adult learning, and I set up I got an award from the Home Office, actually, because I set up
from the Home Office.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. As a community champion, where I encouraged older generation to, well, I taught them basic IT. So we had a computer suite in Newtown, and you know, they would come and we would call the WEA Techno Elders.
Oh, right.
Introducing them introducing them to technology. And I remember, because my mom was part of it, and I remember we you know, we taught them the basics, and then a colleague of mine taught them about spreadsheets. And at that time, my mom was actually on a committee, and she was the treasurer. And I went to visit her one Saturday afternoon, and she was upstairs on her computer using Excel, and I was like, oh my goodness, she was doing the accounts. I mean, she must have been in her 80s, early 80s.
No.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So a lot of the women that I worked with, and men, were in their 70s, 80s, you know, found their way around the computer. Obviously, the internet was just kind of kicking off then. They managed to connect with people abroad that they never had an opportunity to do. You know, I got some funding to do a project so that they can actually reminisce, and we've done some really great things, actually.
That's fantastic. No wonder you got an award for that, because what you've done, you sort of given them a new lease of life.
Absolutely.
You know, because the world was at the fingertips, wasn't it? Really.
Absolutely.
And for a lot, I know for a lot of elderly people, they think, well, the computer world is, you know, but once you actually teach them, there's a lot of them that adapt quite readily to it, don't they? Really.
Absolutely. And that group was it formed a friendship group, you know, took people out of their homes and brought them together. And then from there were other opportunities that we had. So, you know, we took them to London, and they got involved in other crafts and stuff like that, brought in different people. In fact, I've still got a lovely big picture of me and a big group of them in the other room, actually.
Fantastic. And that's what life is about, isn't it? Because that's like giving something back, isn't it?
Giving back. You know, I'm always giving back. I'm here to serve. Yeah,
that's a very good mantra, really, because you know, we get a lot out of life, and we've got to recognize how fortunate we are.
Yeah.
You know, and if we can give something back, you know, that's just fantastic. And also be a role model.
Yeah.
You know, because there's enough negative going on out there.
Absolutely.
And the life that a lot of us have led is so much more positive than the negativity that's out there. So
absolutely. You know, I'm sitting here in my office, and I had a clear out not so long ago, and another part of my another bow to my string to my bow is as you know, I attend Cannon Street church, and
yes.
I used to run the children's choir called Children of the King.
All right.
And some of those children now are in their 20s, and they are now leading worship in church.
Wow.
And it's just lovely to see.
Yeah.
And one of them did, I don't know if I can actually show, it's a bit, because it's really old. One of them did a project on me.
On you?
Yeah, many years ago.
Wow. It's not electronic, is it, that project?
No, unfortunately, that's what I'm saying. So you can see
here
what I've, and see here my tap dancing.
Oh my goodness. It's a bit Charlie Chaplin-y.
Yes, it was a bit, yeah. And as I said, as an adult, I went back into the adult class, and that's me in the adult class.
All right. Fantastic.
Yeah, so so I think I might try and get this laminated just to preserve it.
Yes.
I think it's just lovely.
You should do. Yeah, and do you like have a scrapbook of your life?
You know what? When I was younger, I started that, and then I don't know what happened. And obviously, you know, when you leave home, stuff gets lost and whatever. But I did at one time.
You know, because
I've done so much.
Yes, you know, and this recording will help, because when you start looking back at it, you know, and because I hear a lot of people say I'm writing a book and whatever, but you know, there's a lot of people who don't read as much as they should. But a lot of people will sit, press a button, and watch a recording.
Absolutely.
Or even listen to it.
Yeah.
So this is important. So if you want to go and say, write a book about yourself later on, this is a help.
That's right. Lots of material. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so you know, it's fantastic. So are there any particular questions that you wanted to ask? You know, going forward from here.
I was just going to ask how many people you're interviewing, and is it a long-term project, or is there an end point, or would you just keep going?
Right. So, right. It is a long-term project. As far as I'm concerned, it's endless, because the amount of people out there with a story to tell, I can't see this coming to an end anytime soon. And that's a cross-section of any and everybody, from civilian to military to whatever, especially people of age, like the World War veteran, 2 veterans. You know, and the projects will involve youngsters as well. It's not any particular age. You know, it's everybody's got a story to tell.
Right.
There's some people I talk to, they say, "Oh, well, I haven't got." And once I start asking them questions, they go, "Oh my God, I have got a story after all."
Yeah.
You know, but the importance of it. There's several important reasons behind me setting this up, and that is, obviously, it's a therapy for some people to sit and talk about what they've done, because some people virtually break into tears remembering how things were. The other part of it is, a lot of our lives are hidden from our loved ones in terms of siblings, children, grandchildren, who don't know about you. Because you think they know, or they think they know, but there's certain things that they don't know. So I encourage people to share this recording with them.
Right.
And all it is pressing a button and listening. Sorting you from that. So this is very much a long-term project going forward, bigger and better, hopefully. You know, so I need to get as many people as possible right across the age group. So you talk about your mother. Love to get her interviewed as well.
Right. Okay.
All right. Okay. So I trust that one in you, please.
Say that again.
I entrust that one in your hands.
Yes. She's 96 now. She's a little bit hard of hearing, but I'll be beside her to kind of
absolutely. And that works very well, because I interviewed a 104-year-old World War II veteran last week.
Wow.
With her daughter sat next to her, a Jamaican lady, the oldest British service person, ex-World War II person, as in female, alive, right?
Fantastic.
So I know it works. So this journey is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because how many people know these things exist, or these people exist?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I'm promoting obviously this thing now. So if you were to go onto the website and you click the article called the Logbook Journey, she's a part of the Logbook Journey. Fabulous article. Fabulous article.
Right, I will definitely watch that. Yeah.
And also, I would love it if you became a member of the Forgotten Generations. Free membership, right? And plug this as well, if you don't mind. You know, send the website out there so that people can see it.
Okay, that sounds brilliant.
It's an educational tool.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Because on the homepage of the website are all the British and African countries that Britain colonized. And behind each flag, when you press the flag, history of what support this country has given, that particular country has given Britain back in time to today. Yeah. So I'm looking to populate all the countries that you can see on there, African and Caribbean, with information pertaining to that country.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful. Sounds a really good project. Really good project.
So that's in answer to your question about where I want to take this. Yeah. You know, there's a lot more out there to it. You know, so brilliant. Fabulous. So thank you so much for participating in this.
You're welcome.
It's been my pleasure, and look forward to you sitting with Mommy.
Yes.
Going through that as well.
Okay then. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Thank you very much indeed, and take care.
All right then. Thanks. Take care. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.